Jeshua, the early years. Become the master of time. Now we begin. Indeed, greeting unto you once again, holy and only begotten Son of God, begotten, not made, and eternally of one substance with all that the Father is, begotten before time and of one substance with all that the Father is. Need we say anything else? Begotten, not born, but begotten before time is. And all of you have been led to believe that the body in which you believe yourself to be living came forth but a few short years ago, and you with it. Well, that is an illusion. Begotten before time is. Your home is eternity. Your being is the love of God. Nothing has ever changed it. Nothing has ever tainted it. Nothing has ever limited except your choice to use your infinite wisdom and power and creativity to create the illusion of limitation. And with it came the birth of time. Begotten before time is. Have you wondered what that must surely mean? For if those words be used as a description for me, Jeshua the Christ, they can mean nothing in relationship to me, if they do not already mean the same in relationship to you. Now how can that be? For well have you been taught that I am something special and you are a simple creature, and yet in reality, not an illusion, but in reality, you and I are one. And all that has ever been said about me is about you. Every flowery word written in your Holy Scripture is about you. Every word that would denigrate you and say that you are a simple creature is not about you at all. It is about somebody else's illusion. For well have I spoken unto you that you are loved wholly, and you have never sinned. You are the light and the life of mankind. And wherever you are, the fullness of God comes to be expressed and to be extended unto the one who stands in front of you. And the only thing that can ever create a barrier between you and your brother is your choice to believe that you are other than what God created you to be. Therefore, that veil that you would create is only your choice to use the infinite power extended unto you to create a very flimsy screen called separation. In it there is no power. In it there is no reality. In it there is nothing of truth. From my perspective, which is the one you are choosing to recognize and reawaken to, that illusion does not exist. And when you choose to see your brother through the very eyes that I see you, you will look with the eyes of Christ, and you will know and understand that you are born into this world to be the Savior of this world. Therefore, birth can only take place in time. Birth is taking that which is eternal and changeless and coming down to express in a form that the world can understand, the birthing of a Savior. The Christmas story is yours. The Easter story is yours whenever you choose to claim the one truth given you before time is. I and my Father are one. I am Christ eternal. I live. Yet not I, but Christ lives in me and through me. Though of myself I can do nothing, my Father through me does all things, because he is the light and life and the way and the truth, and I am one with him eternally. The world can give me nothing, and the world can take nothing from me. Therefore I live not in fear. I live not in lack, and I live not in want, but I live to extend and to share with my holy brother and sister the fullness of my being, and when I do that, I ignite in them the possibility of claiming the reality as their very own. And whenever I choose to come together with my brother and sister and tolerating not a trace of error in me or in them, and they choose to see me through that very same light, the two have become again as one. Sacred intimacy is realized, and the atonement is completed on earth as it is already in heaven. That is the power given unto you. It is the power given unto me. It is by that power that I come and blend with this carcass that you think is owned by my beloved brother. And I come forth, and I use this vehicle to do nothing else than to make manifest who you are. And I will come again and again to serve as your mirror, until you, when you look at even this carcass and hear these words, you recognize that you are looking at no one but yourself, and you are hearing your own voice, that voice that was given you of our Father before time is. When you claim those words as your own, then all power is unleashed on earth in this bodily temple as it already is in heaven. You think that you are separate from this carcass, and I tell you that you are not. If you were to break down your perception and stop looking at the color of your hair and the width and girth of your physical form, and start to look at what your scientists call molecules and atoms and quarks and electrons and little quantas of light, you would discover there is not one trace of difference between the body you think is yours and this carcass that you think belongs to my beloved brother. Not one trace of difference. Ultimately, the perception that bodies abide in space and time and are separate from one another is itself an illusion, and yet you have the power to see with eyes that are crystal clear, having let go of every trace of illusion of separation, to see not with the eyes of the body, but with the eyes of the risen Christ, to see not a body in front of you, but to see the thought of perfect love and form that is your brother and your sister. And what power, what healing would you extend unto another if you saw not the body in separation, but if you saw the eternal presence of Christ in the one before you? Now, it doesn't really matter if they're forgotten. What matters is that you remember. That is why, when in truth you have awakened and chosen never again to tolerate error in your own perception, when you stand in bodily form in front of another and look into the eyes with the light of Christ, your simple smile can heal lifetimes. And to the degree that they are willing to receive that light of the Christ you are, even before your eye miracles can occur. Can you come to understand, then, that if you are not seeing miracles in your life, it is because you are still choosing to linger in a little trace of darkness that says, I believe in God, I believe in Christ, but I'm not really quite the light. If I work a little harder and perfect it, the next time around I will be. The most arrogant of acts is to insist that you are other than Christ. Your world would teach you just the opposite, would it not? For indeed to say, I am the arisen Christ, is beheld as the ultimate act of being arrogant. I tried it, and they tried to crucify me. Do you fear crucifixion? Many of you know that what I said speaks directly to your heart, for you struggle in this world and you run up against your fear, and you don't understand its source. Why do I still live in lack? Why do I not manifest the power of Christ? And I say unto you, it is because you still carry the trace of fear that the world will crucify you if you truly live in your power. And what is power but the choice to rest in the gentleness of allowing your only reality to be lived with every breath you breathe? Will the world crucify me if I let go of every trace of belief that I've ever been separate from God? If I leap off the cliff and trust the power of God to live through me, to throw off my shackles of lack and want and fear, and to let Christ live in me so that I can shout with one of my ancient brothers, I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. And if the world would look upon you and say, there goes another nut, can you understand that what you are hearing is coming from a voice of illusion in which no power resides? And if it is true, and I assure you that it is, who cares about the opinions of another mind who would insist on illusion over reality? Many of you know what it means to want to wake up every morning and see your world at peace, to see the complexities of the world healed, to see the chaos ceased, the insanity dissolved. And yet you arise in the morning and you go out and conform yourself to those very opinions because you still believe that the world can keep you safe. And by conforming to it, you can escape crucifixion. And yet I say unto you, conformity to the perception of your world is to choose crucifixion. And as I came forth once before, I come now yet again in this world to many ways. And even in this hour, in this evening, I am communicating through similar forms in over 100 locations upon your planet to do one thing, to beseech you to join me, not in crucifixion, but in the resurrection. There is a light and power that is coming to be born upon this plane, that is arising from the very soil of this, your holy mother, and the time is short upon this earth, and I ask you to arise with me to be the resurrection. You know how to be the crucifixion. You have played that one out very well, and all the gods and all the levels of this universe applaud you on your ability to put on such a drama. But the curtain is being raised now. Many in this room are sensitive to the raising of that curtain. You feel it as a quickening that begins to move energy up and down your spine. It creates a feeling at times, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Open up and let it happen. Because the raising of the curtain is nothing more than the death of illusion, because light is being born, because it is being remembered. Therefore, would you join me and be part of the solution instead of part of the continuation of the problem? Understand well, fatigue has nothing at all to do with the body. It has everything to do with the mind. It has everything to do with the mind. And when the mind is awakened and chooses only light and tolerates never again error in its own perception and gives every moment over to the Holy Spirit, then indeed that mind is enlightened because the heart is awakened, and the body will leap up like a bunch of little soldiers that have been sleeping on guard duty and say, oh my God, there's been a change here, and the cells become active, and they begin to realize that you are going to send the infinite light of God to them, and therefore you have to relearn their job. No longer will they be able to tolerate extending sickness to you because you have been sending sick thoughts to them. Do you understand what I am saying? The body is your perfect servant, and if you know depression or disease, it is because over a long period of time you've trained the cells of your body to conform to the diseased perception held in the mind. And when you have healed that perception, the body must follow suit. And it is very possible, and you're going to see it happen upon this plane, many of you are going to live to see this happen in these bodies, that when there is a moment's disease or sickness in the body, the very mind will simply choose light, will transfer light from the infinitude of heaven and express it on earth, and the very cells of the body will instantly be healed. That is what a master can do, and you have come not to be slaves to the world, but to demonstrate mastery in all regard. And mastery requires utmost responsibility, the ability to respond and to look upon the whole of the world and say, my goodness, I am the one that made this, and now I'm going to undo it. Where am I going to start? Right where I am. If all minds are joined, and I assure you that they are, right where you are even in this moment where you to throw open the shackles of the heart and mind, to open the cells of the body and to say, I am the Holy Son of God, and I claim my kingdom. Let light descend to earth now in me. To do that is to have already uplifted the whole of creation. Imagine that in my Father's house there are many mansions. Each room is a heart and mind, and this mansion has an infinite number of rooms. And you are living in a tiny little closet on the first floor, and you know that above you there are thousands and thousands of floors, and when you open the door of your teeny closet and peek down the long corridor, you know that there are thousands and thousands of rooms on the very floor you're on. And your Father has just said unto you, I want you to sweep the dust out of the corners of every room. Oh my God, what a task. Phew, how will I ever get it accomplished? The secret to the rebirthing of the kingdom of heaven on earth is for you to realize that when you sweep the dust out of the corners of your own teeny room, you have done it in every room in my Father's mansion, because all minds and hearts are joined. Therefore, receive that healing for yourself, and you are the janitor that has cleaned every room in the mansion. Makes it much easier. Does that make sense to you? Yes. While time continues for yet a little while, it is given unto you to make the choice with every breath. This is what I mean by response ability, the ability to respond in each moment. What thought am I choosing to hold? Am I conforming myself to limitation and lack and fear? Or am I choosing to be the fullness of the kingdom, now because I have begotten before all worlds, and am of one substance eternally with all that my Father is? That is the choice to be made. That is the choice that is so important upon this plane in this time. In this room this evening there are many, many, many beings who do not at this point associate with physical bodies as you do. They are all around you. Some of you have been feeling that already. Some of you have noticed and had thoughts come even while you were whirling around talking and eating. There's something about this room tonight. What is it? You could say other guests have been arriving for a while to help do some things with the energy here. I have said unto you that I am one who likes to have a lot of friends, and this isn't the only plane that I like to have friends on, and this is not the only plane that is available to you. Each of you has what you know as guides and teachers and friends on planes unseen with the physical eyes, and they are there for you because they love you. They know that you are Christ eternal, and they will do anything they can do to help you remember, to help you unlock that power to bring the fullness of the kingdom and express it in this world. Fear not crucifixion. All of you have tasted the illusion of death. Not one of you has escaped being persecuted by others in this drama, and you all carry that fear of crucifixion. Call it rejection, call it abuse, call it being put to death. Whatever form it comes, there is a fear that keeps your heart contracted, and yet the fear itself is an illusion. That illusion is paper thin, so thin that it only takes one choice to walk through it. And I ask you to join with me, precious and holy and ancient friends, begotten before all worlds, you who are of one substance with all that I am. I ask you to walk through the veil within yourself, and to never settle again for anything but the power and the wisdom and the truth of the kingdom, to be uttered by your lips, to be extended by the movement of your body. The only light lives in you and as you, and you will be the light that heals this world. The body is nothing more than a tool of communication, and is not even yours, so what are you worried about? Nobody is going to nail it to a cross this time, and even if they did, it wouldn't matter. From dust the body is created, and to dust the body shall return. It is the gift of your Holy Mother, given unto Christ eternal, to become as a vehicle for communicating the unconditional love of God. If only you could understand what's really occurring on this planet. Reality is not outside of you. It is not in the complexities that have been brought forth into this world. Reality is in you, and all that you have seen and all the dramas unfolded in this world have been nothing more than you walking into a certain movie house and watching a certain movie. And now the time upon this plane is for you to arise from that seat, to go back out to the center of the movie house that has many little theaters in it, to go back to the center of your heart and to remember who you are, and then to walk into a different theater in which a new movie is about to start. A movie of light, of abundance, of joy, of peace, of extraordinary miracles. The movie has already started, and I come to be your usher to say, quickly, quickly, come over here. Tarry no longer. The old movie is already over. You are just sitting in a chair, running it through your mind, all the horrible scenes, and yet the film has already stopped. Wait for me. I've got to get popcorn. For that, we will hold all things up. Indeed. How are you doing, my brother? Very well, thank you. I've gone through a few changes in the last few weeks. Hold nothing back. The river is starting to flow in a way that you could not have understood even a few short months ago. Open yourself up wholly every day and tell the Holy Spirit you are ready. Dare your Father to let the fullness of the union of Father and Son to explode through you. Just dare him to see if he can overwhelm you. Do it every day when you arise. It is very important now because the habits you have known will want to creep back to build little dams. Choose the power of that light. Choose it with everything you have ever got, every morning when you rise, and give thanks for it every night before you go to sleep. Fair enough. Quite a small price to pay for the grace that heals 100,000 illusions. I thought it was just one. 1 in 100,000 are simply two ways to say the same thing. Well then, how are we all doing? It was a bit of a long greeting, I'm sorry. It was worth it. It was nice. Wonderful. You answered my questions. What are you going to do with the answers? Oh, that is a trick question. Yeah, that is a trick question. Rejoice in them. Take them. What you just said about the old habits wanting to jump out of their little corners and grab us again. That really holds true, and it has for me in the last week, and I hope it's the last hurrah. You hope? Oh, okay, got me. No, I just gently corrected you. Yes, beloved brother, it is you that has me, and I abide in your heart as the fullness of your being, and the fullness of that being creates the experience of Jeshua so that you can talk with your true self. Understand well what I am saying unto you, because this relates for all of you. Inasmuch as you have been as one mind as the ego, or the separate self-sense that has created all worlds, you are already of one mind and one heart in creating the salvation of the sonship. As you have created the dramas of illusions of separation, so too do you create the drama of salvation. Therefore, all that I am, and I have said this to you before, as Jeshua, Joseph ben Joseph, who came and walked and talked, who sweated, got hungry, urinated in the woods. I'm sorry that I didn't put that part in the Bible. All the things you have ever done and felt tempted by, I too have tasted. And yet understand that my life is wholly yours. You are the ones who brought forth the life of Jeshua, Joseph ben Joseph, to be the Savior of the world, a mirror that you could look in and be reminded of the truth of yourself. You could say that you decided to sleep and have a very nice drama, and you scripted that there would be a being upon this plane, and when you looked at him, it would trigger a remembrance like, the bell has rung. Time for me to wake up from my drama. It's been nice, but there's a far greater one to be lived. You are all that I am, and between us there is anything called separation. Therefore, beloved brother, do not hope that it will be their last hurrah, but decree that that is true. I would give you a little assignment. Are you ready? I am ready. We will see. Have I not spoken unto you in each of your days? Do something a little outrageous. Anyone hear that before? Yes. How long has it been since you put it into practice? Well, I think once last week I finally had the time to do something outrageous. Precious friend, go into one of your malls, stand on one of the seats there. They usually put them around those plastic flowers. There's nothing like the aroma of plastic flowers. Stand up the step there on a seat and decree at the top of your lungs, I am the Holy Son of God. And in this moment I decree that all of my illusions have just had their last hurrah. And look around at those who look at you with their little chin on the floor and say, isn't it great that we are one? And then just go about your business. Now, Holy Father, let these be in me even as I am in you. Let them see the truth of their being, for I have served them since before the beginning of time, and that time is at hand. Father, enter their hearts that they might hear this simple gospel and see that the time is at hand. Long have I toiled for you, long have I served the atonement of your only begotten Son. And I beseech you, Father, enter these as you have entered me, with the fullness of your light and your glory and your wisdom and your power and your love. Let them be in me as I am in you, that together the Son might be one again with the Father to express the joy of that perfect union, to blend with the energies of this our Holy Mother, and to express these bodies the one truth of eternal life. Father, I beseech thee, let the time be now, and let them awaken to the truth of our union. Let illusions be ended, Father, let illusions be ended. Would you not receive my prayer? Would you not throw open the shutters of your heart? For I stand and knock, and I beseech you, precious ones whom I love dearly. The time is at hand to put down illusions and join me in the resurrection. Very soon now, Easter's upon you. What is it going to mean to you this year? Will it mean what the world wants you to believe it means? That someone in your long past history finally got the message, or worse yet, that one was sent by God and was without sin and was perfect anyway. That puts me on a pedestal so far above you that my lifetime becomes totally meaningless. For if I came not and dwell among you as a man, tempted to live the crucifixion, then my resurrection is totally meaningless. Look not then upon me with the eyes of the world has given you, but please look with the eyes that I seek to give you, to see that I am your brother and your friend. And if Jeshua can awaken to the truth of his being, then Lord knows so can you, because you are already my equal. So would you join me in a little exercise, rather a little celebration? Those of you who in this moment feel that your shoulders are a little hunched, throw them back. For God's sakes, what are you trying to protect yourself from? What burdens are you insisting on carrying? I feel guilty. So release the guilt and throw the shoulders back. Feel a lightness come to the spine itself. It is the tree of life. Let its branches reach up to the light of the Father. In the depth of your being, now you can throw open the doorway to each and every cell of the body, your perfect servants. Block not the angel of air, but feel it ascending and descending along the tree of life. Breathe not only the angel of air, but let each breath be a breath of light and of power, and of wisdom and of joy. Within yourself say unto your Father, Yes, I receive you. Throw open your heart, receive it. Dare your Father to send you so much light that it feels the body might explode. Open yourself. Come to where I am. Let the little vibration begin. Feel the quickening within you. With every in-breath say, Yes, I accept my truth. I am the Son of God. I am the light of the world. I and my Father are one. I and my Father are one. I and my Father are one. Some of you are beginning to see certain colors. Let them come more brightly, more vibrantly. Receive them. Feel the cells all the way down to your fingertips and toes opening. If you begin to feel a little lightheaded and giddy, all the much better. Seriousness has no place in the kingdom. Yes, I am the light of the world. I am the birthing of the new age that is upon this earth. I am all power, and I am all light, and I am all joy. I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. For I am that mind and that heart. And if you be that power, and I assure you that you are, let not timidity come upon you again. And now altogether we are going to take one very deep breath, and we are going to inhale the light and the power of God. And as we exhale, we are going to open our mouth and let sound come out. Take a nice deep in-breath, and with all the power of the Christ we are... Oh, not bad. How are you feeling? Good, great, very good, energized. Vibrations of yourself. Yes. Why would you settle for anything less in any moment of your day? So you see, when next you are one of your board meetings and you feel the energy of the world wanting to contract you down so that you are conformed to everybody's illusion of lack and suffering, now you know what to do to change it. Yes, all right, corporate management will fall down. It's about time it fell down. Don't you understand what it's all about? To be the light of the world, not to pray that light will come. You have been doing that for thousands of lifetimes. Receive the simplicity of the gospel. If light is to come, you are the ones that have to bring it. Gone is the time of timidity, gone the time of weakness and lack and frailty. How can you abide in those states and still expect the new world to be born? How can you translate the unhappy dream of the chaos of this world into the happiness of the rebirthing of the kingdom unless you choose to be that? Not to seek it, not to pray for it, but to decree that the time is at hand because you are choosing that now is the time. What do you think, seed planter? I agree, it's a time, feels good. You have a certain song, the times they are a-changing. Are you going to change with them? Because indeed the time comes rather quickly now that if you choose not to, shall we say, uplift the frequency of your being by declaring that you will never again tolerate the error of misperception, that you are anything other than embodiment of joy. If you choose not to do that, you are simply not going to be able to be on your beloved earth any longer, because the very heat of joy that will be coming from the very soil, the body of your Holy Mother, will be something that you can't tolerate because you are choosing a heavy vibration that can no longer abide on the earth. There are going to be a few that make the choice to insist on the heaviness, and what will happen when the energy of the earth becomes so transparent that solid things cannot abide upon it, and they simply sink through it. Now that's a metaphor, of course, but it means that if you truly love your Holy Mother, you had better get it in gear and catch up with the changes going on in her own frequencies. Don't let the heart contract with fear. You cannot experience death. All you can ever experience is the consequence of your choice. I'll let you understand well that what you experience in your life is the effect of your choice. And a new choice is being born upon this plane, a choice that will tolerate only light, only peace, only joy, only abundance, only service one unto another. The time is going to come upon this plane when minds and bodies can't sit still because they're going to be running around the whole time, finding a way to extend service and love to their brothers and sisters, and nothing but service. Gone will be the energy of taking. It will be replaced by the energy of giving, because being rebirthed is that simple truth that as you give, you receive. Give your love away, and you will never be without it. Give your vision of one heart and one mind away, and you will experience it growing within you by leaps and bounds, and you will attract unto yourself other minds and hearts that have been waiting for you to give them the signal to live as unlimited vision. For it is through vision that your Father extends his love and creativity into this world, and where there is not vision, what happens to the people? They perish. All of you know what it means to perish. Some of you are still insisting on perishing. Some of you are yet insisting that lack must be your experience. It's just a chronic habit. Let it go. Insist on abundance. Live abundantly. Live from the truth that you know that there's no such thing as lack. You are here to serve, expressing the unconditional love of God. And do you think that if your Father is going to ask you to go forth and teach all nations, that he is going to leave you in poverty? Tell him to get off his can and make sure you have everything you need for the fulfillment of your mission. Jeshua, why do you say that? Because there is a reason behind that? What? A reason behind what I say? Oh, now I have to think up one. Well, those words, they were just said that way. Firewalker, look at the subtleties of your own thought. You are beginning to catch some of the fire you have been walking on. When you say, I pray for a new world order to be manifested on this earth, but you yourself choose to live in the impoverishment of a lack of energy, a lack of golden coins, and a belief that there is nothing you can do to change your own status, you have basically depleted the very life force that is required for the birthing of that new world order. You have to be an example of that new world order. Therefore, when you pray unto your Father, help me, Father, to do your will, whatever it is. You come from a place of weakness and lack. That is why I have said that the time of false piety is over with. It is time for you to rise and to stand on the little seats in your malls and say, Father, I have come here to serve the atonement of your Son. Now get off your can and don't forget what we're doing here. Oh, give me the abundance of your kingdom because I need it to do your work. Bring it to me, and by the way, I happen to like nice clothes, and I am not going to drive a rattletrap to do your work. Oh, God. The reality you experience is nothing more than the expression of the frequency and the vibration you insist on holding on to. Upgrade your vibration and frequency daily, and the world around you will have to change its shape. I am calling you not to be meek any longer. Be meek in the true sense. So meek and so pure that there is not one trace of illusion to be found in you. Allow the death of the world to take place in your own consciousness, that the kingdom can be reborn in it. Some of you believe that to achieve great abundance is going to take a lifetime of straining and planning and hard work because it's a tough world. I'm going to have to compete, and I'm really lucky in 20 years I'll be able to retire and pay my bills. That thinking does not exist in the kingdom. The only thinking that exists in the kingdom is this: I am the Holy Son of God, and all the abundance of my Father is given to me now. And I live from it, and I extend it, and I give it away freely and gladly to anyone who would ask. And if my brother lives in lack, I will teach him how to live in abundance, because I can't tolerate this any longer. I am the Holy Son of God, and I am going to bring the whole of creation with me, and I am not going to stop until it comes to where I am. I am Christ eternal, and even as I manifested Jeshua ben Joseph and demonstrated the truth of the kingdom, I choose now to be the fullness of who I am, and I am going to manifest nothing but miracles until all of my brothers and sisters wake up with me. Do you see the difference? Jeshua, when you talk about abundance, you mostly mention material things, the abundance of love. I have felt a lot of resistance in this community to enacting that. I wonder if you could speak to the higher vision of how we can go about creating trust, safety, for us to do that. Beloved friend, everything that I have spoken unto you this night addresses that very question. Put it into practice. If there is anything with whom you are feeling some variance or enmity, then get on the phone and call them and say, "We've got to get together. You see, the time is at hand. Let's make sure of all the hatchets are buried. Let's join together and look into each other's eyes and declare that we are the Holy Son of God. And we are going to get on with it and manifest the abundance to make this community happen, because we cannot any longer tolerate error. We cannot tolerate waiting on the Lord, because we are the Lord." How can you manifest that community of trust and safety? By declaring to everyone who is attracting to that community that you are giving it to them, and you are wholly expectant that it will be given to you, because nothing less can any longer be tolerated. Now don't forget to sing and dance and play as you are doing that. The time is at hand, precious friend. The Father indeed provides all things. And if you would look around you, He is extending unto you many vehicles and many ways in which you can act the truth of who you are and bring the abundance to you. But it will never happen until you are ready to declare for yourself the truth of who you are and to live it with every breath and to settle for nothing less. Stop waiting for the person to your right or to your left to make it happen for you. Beloved friend, that is how. How can you create that safety? By declaring and demonstrating and being that safety. By being that love that embraces all things. By in your own life cleaning out the cobwebs in your closet, letting the Father manifest all power and wisdom and abundance through you, so that you can show your brother and sister how to do it also. This is no fun if you do it alone. The time is at hand, even as many of you feel a shift in the way I bring my energy forth to bear through this temporary carcass, and indeed a shift in what I am not so much saying unto you, but the way I am saying it. Understand that there is a shift in frequency that has gone on in your Holy Mother, this earth. Some of you have felt it, some of you haven't noticed it all, because you are too busy keeping yourself limited by the constrictions of your very narrow-minded perceptions. In other words, you are too wrapped up in the drama of the ego to notice what's happening, and those of you that persist in that are going to wake up one day and realize you are not even on the earth anymore. You are somewhere else. What happened? Did the New Age pass me by? Yes, but you get to come back, don't you? Choose again to come back? Well, you do. You never get left out. It's just a matter of when. I don't know if I'm using that as an excuse or anything, but I'm just wanting to say that we are all going home. We are all going to make it. I'm not trying to negate anything you're saying. Firewalker, you are trying to negate something that came out as an impulse of your own thinking that wants still to have a trapdoor to escape through. If we are all coming home, that means that for you, this is not a conscious mind, it is a slightly deeper level. You are hoping that you will still have time to make up for it if you don't choose it now. That is where those statements came from. The mind and heart that chooses the truth of the kingdom does not even entertain the thought that maybe later the choice can still be made anew. It is too busy choosing now. Contemplate that well within you, for though you would look around you and want many to catch on fire and leap ahead, there is still a part of you that has the rope tied around the end of the dock, and your own ship is not quite yet sailing freely. Well, that's true. I know. I have news for you. None of this is going to happen until you choose it for yourself. The whole of creation is on hold, waiting for you. Now that's responsibility. But guess what? The whole of creation is on hold, waiting for each and every one of you. That is your responsibility, to be the light of the world with every breath you breathe. You don't have time for the drama of separation. You don't have time for the drama of indulging in the whimpering of the ego. All of that is an illusion. You don't have time for it. Will you not join with me and truly come to where I am? Come to that frequency or that vibration that cannot tolerate error in your own perception any longer, to see that there is but one mind and one heart called Christ, And all of these little bodies are nothing more than vehicles through which the one mind and one heart can express the love of God. Wherever you are, whether you are in a grocery store and someone else in this room tonight is in an office and somebody else in this room tonight is in a garden planting seeds, can you remember fully that you are one and you are united and you are together all the time? You are never alone. You can't be alone. And if all of you did was to think on the energy in this room and the little exercise we did, and allowed that power to come forth through you, wherever you are, would you know that the power of the one mind of Christ is moving through you? And when you extend love unto anyone on this plane, once it is done, you could just that fast move on to the plane of reality in which everyone in this room is abiding in, as if you were sitting around a table watching a movie. And you could step into that frequency and say, I've just extended some more love into the world. How did you do over there? It's all available to you. You have never been separate one from another. And those of you that are attracted to the expression of community need to start putting that truth into practice. You can join with any mind of any brother and any sister anytime you want, if only to extend power and love to them. You don't have time to stare at your soap operas any longer. You don't have time to sit in your easy chair lamenting how tough your life is, because your life and your world will be transformed when you learn to do nothing but extend the love of God with every breath you breathe. Whenever the mind knows heaviness or doubt or loneliness, think upon your brother and sister who has come with you to extend the love of Christ into this world and empower them. Guess what happens when you do that? As you give, you receive. As you empower your brother or sister, you will feel that power coursing through you. And you will wonder what happened to your depression and your doubts and your fear and your loneliness. It's all just an illusion anyway. Do you understand what I am saying to you? You've learned to contract yourself, to separate yourself from the power of Christ. How then do you find it? By giving it away. Salvation can only be known by sharing it. So when you think you are bored, you've washed all your dishes, you've cleaned the cobwebs out of your closet, you've washed the filth off your automobile, you've put the food in the belly of the body, you've paid all your bills unto Caesar, and you think you've got nothing to do Saturday night and nowhere to go. Think about your brothers and sisters and do nothing more than play with empowering them. Play at it and love it. Pretend like you are the controller of the universe. Send the power of Christ to your brother and your sister. Jeshua, I am answering your very joyful call. You showed up in a session I was giving this afternoon, and it was quite clear that I would move my day and my evening a lot in order to come and be with you tonight. So I am just here and open to your reflection. I am with you always. Join with me until you see and hear me as easily as you hear the voice that you are now hearing. Join with me so fully that there is no longer a trace of distance between us. Time to upgrade, shall we say, the frequency or power of the work that you do. But it's going to take leaps and bounds. Well, I've been feeling that. My daily awareness is to release, allow. Really allow the lightness to come, the movement to move. It feels so large at times that I keep wanting to damper it or contract it or take a breath, and basically I am daily just breathing through and expanding. A rather good idea. Precious friend, have you not carried with you, even in the beautiful work you do, have you not carried a chronic thought? Am I truly worthy of total union with Christ? Know you that feeling? Yes. Let it be gone. Well have you known that I have been knocking upon the door of your heart for a very long time. Indeed, sometimes you let me come in and have a little cup of tea, but then you say, "Oh, you have to leave now." Beloved friend, from this day, more powerful than ever in the past, when you do the work you do and what you call the initiation, you are going to feel me standing next to you. And when you do your little ritual, there will come a day when you will literally see me standing on just the other side of the one you are doing your ritual with. And I'm going to join with you. In other words, we are going to be working together at a new level to increase that power and the transformation of that initiation. What do you think? Oh, I welcome it. I have actually been inviting you clearly in every circle. You have been inviting me, but there has been this little shadow over in the corner of the mind. Well, could I really take it if he truly showed up? Know you the trace of that feeling? Oh, yes. Thank you for receiving my invitation to come to this gathering. Indeed, it is my honor, my joy. Yes, as it is mine. I have known you for a very long time, and you know that. Yes, and you know that you are in truth involved in your life's purpose and function in the work that you do, if you want to call it work, and you are going to see it begin to accelerate. The room is very full tonight, standing room only, floating room only, indeed. Jeshua, I notice when you've been using the word time, you have a different tone. I'm wondering about it. It feels different when you use that. You are doing something with your frequency. I was curious. Anyone else notice that? Yes. Precious friend, you have perceived well. There is a shift of what you perceive as frequency when I use that word tonight, because it is a way of intoning a certain power that can begin to actually break down the perception or the limitation of time that seem to shroud the mind and the heart. You are doing that with more than just that word. Yes, especially that one, more than others. Tonight, especially that word. You could say it's a lesson for today. Time is a very important barrier that has been created in the mind that is inherent in the illusion of separation. Time is the very thing that needs to be transcended. Become the masters of time, and you will remember that you abide in eternity. It is going to be very, very important in only a little bit of time. Are you truly choosing to master the illusion of time, or are you letting it continue to master you? Remember always that time is given you for one reason and one reason only. Does anyone remember what it is? To extend love, which is to do something I have stated to you probably 35 times or more, to use it constructively, to construct, to let the creative thought of God flow through you, so that what is created in the illusion of time sends a message to your brother and sister that time is an illusion and that only eternity is real. That time cannot be a barrier or limit you in any way from communication with all of the gods and goddesses that you have prayed for the opportunity to communicate with. Time is an illusion that has been translated from a limitation to an opportunity to express what is unlimited. Own it. Use it constructively, and your constructive use of it will translate it into a vehicle through which you become the light of the world. Does that help a little bit? It is time. That's rather a paradox you've given us. Yes, thank you. What you experience is a paradox. Don't try to make sense out of anything that I come to teach you. Just do it. And in the doing of it, you will witness miracles extended through you. And when you have seen them extended through you into the life of your brothers and sisters, you will have to finally admit that they've already been done to you. Please never, 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 in any moment of your day, never choose to limit what I can do through you. If you could give me but one gift, give that to me. Give to me your solemn promise that you will never limit what I can do through you. I promise. And you are going to see the fruit of that promise. I have. Yes, are you ready for it to expand exponentially? Yes. Thank you, Father. How are we all doing? Okay, time to stretch a little, I think. Then do so. No one is stopping you. Yes, I am. How about the rest of you? Small break. So go ahead and take a short little break if you want. I'm not going to do what you would perceive as depart from this blending with my beloved brother, but rather instead, I'm going to quicken it a little bit. If you ever want to know what you have to be willing to release in order to join with me, have a little chat with my beloved brother. Many of you have no idea what it takes to blend with me like this, although you would pray for it, and some of you have known jealously. Are you willing to let everything in you that is false die? Are you willing to experience the pain of 1,000 little deaths within you as the ego becomes ashes? Why not give it a try? Indeed. Are you truly willing to realize that throughout thousands of lifetimes you haven't known what in the hell is going on? But you have judged the world as though you did, because you have judged yourself as being separate from God. That illusion is the cornerstone of the separate self. Are you willing to loosen your fingers from it and let it become as the dust on the ground? That is death. But from that death the fullness of life can be born, and you shall become the perfect servant of the atonement. The form may differ, but the power of the miracles wrought through you is the same, Become the one who allows only miracles. Remember always that the purpose of the miracle you see is to shorten the need for time. Therefore, use time constructively to allow miracles, and miracles will shorten the need for time. Do you see how it all works? So take your short little break. If you want to leave, by all means do so, and do so with my love and my blessing. If would you like to remain for yet a little while, then please do so, and we will see what happens. I love you, and I give you my peace, and until your strength is the same as mine, please use mine. You can't use it up, and it is freely given. Therefore, never allow yourself to feel weak or frail or fearful. All you have to do is to reach into your heart and pull out a handful of my strength and my certainty until you've learned that the strength and that certainty is yours and it cannot be taken from you. I love you because you are the light of the world. Peace be unto the only begotten Son of God, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Amen. Jeshua, I have a couple of questions. I am new and I've been enjoying this evening very much, and I appreciate the reflections that you give us how to be, how to perceive, to attain mastery of the self, and peace in the heart and quiet in the mind. I get to see all the ways that I don't do that, which is wonderful. I have a question about a reference that you make, and how do I say this? You have said to all of us, when we are not feeling strong, to turn to you for our strength. Yes? Okay, and I have a question in turn because I use a different terminology. The strength that you are speaking of is the strength, of course, that comes from God, right? Yes. Okay, my question is, I guess, why the need to go through you to get your strength? Because I see your strength as the strength of God Almighty moving through you, moving through each of us. And I have a question about that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm sure you do. I do, but do you? Yes, I think so, yes. I just wanted to get clear. Do we need to go by you, or can we, I feel like the source is one and the same. Is there a reason that maybe those who need to lean on you were in that way because of whatever relationship that they might, because they were connected to you? They see you on these weekends and get a deeper connection. Is that like a stepping stone, or what you are saying when you are saying that? Now I'm clear. And you actually are giving the answer. Now, first of all, I would say this. I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father but by me. So if you haven't done it yet, learn how to pronounce the name Jeshua, because no other name under heaven can bring you salvation. I'm leaving. Now, what does all that mean? Well, have you spoken that there are some that come not only to see these Friday night gatherings and therefore see me as the vehicle through which they come to the remembrance of the holy union of Father and Son, but indeed many who come unto these gatherings have known me throughout what you would perceive as lifetimes. There is something called holy lineage that is extremely important. Imagine that a child sleeps in a meadow and begins to dream dreams of many journeys and forgets that he sleeps in his father's arms. And he begins to believe that the nightmare he is using his own creative power to create have a power in themselves. And he learns the complexity upon complexity and world upon world, and comes to actually believe he has been separated from his father's holy kingdom. Now, somewhere along the line, he might be a cobbler, he might be a Roman soldier, he might be a member of the Sanhedrin, he might be working in a court of Egypt. Somewhere in one of those journeys he hears a message. He sees someone that others call master, and though he does not know it, he has heard this message before, and he has seen those who are its masters walking with him upon the earth. Yet for some reason, in this moment, something is different, and as he hears the words for that master being spoken, something begins to vibrate in the heart, and a little door opens, and for just a moment he sees the union of Father and Son. That is the beginning of the holy lineage, and though he might close that door and say, "Oh, not yet," and go back to being a cobbler or what have you, and though he might choose to travel through another 100,000 worlds, when it comes time for the soul to take its final journey home, the soul shall make sure that it comes back into contact with that lineage because it becomes a doorway home. I am the lineage for many, and therefore especially in this work that I do with my beloved brother, because I am his lineage. I come forth and use a certain language that identifies me as the one who walked and talked as Jeshua Joseph ben Joseph. I talk about Abba. I talk about the Holy Mother. I talk about the union of Father and Son, because this is a language that those entrusted to me of my Father have known very, very well. Most of them have known many incarnations within what you would call the Judeo-Christian tradition. It is a language that vibrates within their soul, and so I come and use it yet again. It is not, as you know, the only one that can be used. But those who come and resonate with it, what I say unto them, there are many in this room that would nod their head and say, "Oh yes, I know Jeshua is my lineage." Your lineage is a little different, but you appreciate the universality of the gospel that is expressed in these words, do you not? Yes, very much. Therefore, do not see it so much as a stepping stone, but see it as an enactment of the awakening of the sonship. This same gospel can be given in many forms. As you know, yours is a bit different. And yet, when I say that I'm in the way and the truth and the life, and that no man comes to the Father but by me, I am speaking a gospel that has been given in many forms to any heart and mind that must come to realize that you are Christ eternal. You are Jeshua. You are the power of the light that is the offspring of the light divine. You are the daughter of the goddess, and therefore, when you come to be fully identified in the core of your own being as that same love and power and wisdom that took form as Jeshua, then indeed you have become the way, the truth, and the life. Does that make sense? That is wonderfully clear for me, and I really appreciate the recognition, because I was aware that I had a different lineage, and I just wanted to get clear for myself and understand what was really going on here, and what you were referring to, so that I could remain in honor and love, my love for your words and your works that have been so vastly written and talked and preached about. So thank you for that very special message. I do have a question that is personal. Is that okay to ask? No, of course not. No, this year I decided that I am, what you were talking earlier about, lack. I really want to be done with it. I mean, clearly done with it, and really trust. And as I've been declaring that I wanted to trust God more in allowing that flow to happen, with not so much fear coming in. Of course, fear comes blasting in my face, and I got ill from it. And I had to go through that whole recognition of letting go to another level of vibration so that I could receive more, understand more. And there's a part of me that recognizes that there is a way I am blocking my abundance. And I really want to be able to. I know that I will be able to move out of the way. However, I'm not really clear on what it is that I need to move, unless it is the big issue of totally trusting and just having faith in every single moment of every single breath that I take that all is well. My mind gets in the way. I don't know if you have any insight to share with me on this. None. I haven't the foggiest idea what you're talking about. Okay, I'll rephrase that. No, you don't need to. I know that you know, and I would love some help with this. Thank you. Beloved friend, you have already given yourself the answer, but you have not understood it. Indeed, your mind gets in the way, and the obstacle that blocks it is the belief that there is an obstacle that you must remove before you can receive the abundance. Oh, okay. Beloved friend, do what I am about to suggest to you. Do it daily for a period of 21 days. Fair enough? Yes, fair enough. Now, this is going to require that you do this 24 hours a day, and you do not eat or drink in the meantime. Just kidding. Now, when you arise in the morning, sit up, throw your shoulders back, feel the spine lengthen. Block not the angel of air, and say unto the one who is the teacher who teaches without error, the one I have called the Holy Spirit, and ask him to correct the only obstacle in you. Ask him to correct the perception that an obstacle exists. As you breathe the angel of air, let the body soften. Let it feel as though the cells are becoming light itself. You will feel that softness, and over the course of these 21 days, you will feel that state and know it very well. And as that soften comes, simply say, "Thank you, Holy Father, for I'm healed." Yes. Then go about your day. But as you go about your day, within your mind, ask that a higher vision be born through you. That's all you need to do. Do it with innocence, not trying to let the mind get caught up with wondering what the vision might be. Just ask that it be born through you. In 21 days, you are going to know that a deep healing and a shift has occurred. A certain perception will no longer arise, and you won't even have noticed at first that it is not in you any longer. And on that 22nd or 23rd day, you are suddenly going to be startled to realize that you will notice a certain weight is not with you, and you won't even know where it went. Fair enough? That is great. Yes, thank you. You have much to do upon this plane, and for you to move into the fulfillment of part of your purpose is going to require that you become a demonstration of one who is a teacher of God and one who lives in unlimited abundance. Somebody has to do it. What do you think? That's pretty awesome. Don't fear abundance of any kind, even of golden coins, but when they come to you, remember what they're really for, to give the love of God away. Keep that in mind. Okay, and my second question is personal. I came to a decision just today, and I feel it's clear. I just want to ask you that I'm not copying out of any part. I'm not copying out. Okay, go forward and do it. Is that what you are saying? Okay, thank you. That's all, and I appreciate your graciousness. I appreciate the light and the clarity and the power and love and the demonstration that you are about to bring and give unto this world. That makes my palms sweat. Jeshua, this woman started her question with a proclamation that was quite profound. I thought she said, Jeshua, I'm new. It is the first thing she said, and I rather liked it. So can I say I am new too? Are you ready to be new? I think so. Okay, I'm ready. There. All that I hope, and I think so. Great. Yes, indeed, beloved brother, is it not true that all things are being made new for you? Is it not true that the perceptions have been dropping away almost constantly, and that even in the midst of your day, you sometimes stop and realize that you are seeing things in a wholly new way? Is that not true? Yes, energies are changing. Yes, allow. Do not strive, do not make, allow. You know what I mean by that? Yes. Had any nice conversations with deceased entities lately? I started to, I tried, but they weren't very willing to listen. That doesn't matter, talk to them anyway. Okay. What you perceive as their unwillingness means that you are just getting caught up with the superficiality of their drama. Speak to the deeper part. You said when you told me that there is a teacher that would help me. Can you be a little bit more specific about that? No, that's not okay. I could, but I love you far too much to do anything which is a disservice to you. Right. Allow. Seems like a simple message, and yet in this year you have realized through revelation after revelation of the depth of the meaning of that teaching to allow. Is that not true, my sister? Yes. Continuing to learn it, aren't you? Yes. It is the most important key to the kingdom, and because you've begun to master the use of that key, it must necessarily come to pass that you will quickly come to the completion of your journey and reside where I am. The end is certain now. Allow it to be. Surprise. I have to hug the trees, huh? Yes, you don't have to hug them. You get to hug them. They are waiting. The day will come when you will understand the power and significance of doing just that. You will come to understand what it really means in and for the depth of your soul. Nothing like enjoying the journey that another is taking in their choice to awaken from dream to reality. It brings me great joy to watch each of your journeys no longer to spin in small circles, but journey to awaken from the soil of separation and to burst forth as the fragrance and the flowering of divine remembrance. Because well do I know what is going to transpire upon this plane when the sonship chooses to be the flowering of awakening. It's something worth working for throughout all of time. You are all so beautiful. In you there is so much light, so much love, and so much radiance, so much wisdom, and so much beauty that you cannot contain it in the vessel of the human body. And when you choose to let it shine fully, when you decide just to throw caution to the wind, which is what I would call casting aside the belief in limitation, so much light will radiate through you that time must surely come to pass when the choice to manifest physical bodies will have served its purpose, and you will have moved beyond it. And even what you call your world will dissolve in light. Is that the end of creation? Hardly. But it is the transcendence of one form of it. Let your light so shine before men that it is unmistakable, and you are the light of the world. Many of you would do well to call your mothers and your fathers and your brothers and your sisters and your children and say, guess what? I'm the risen Christ. How are you doing today? Because you see, when the thought comes, well, I couldn't do that. It means you just identified yourself with the illusion that is the world. That's how close you are in every moment. I would rather say it in person than over the telephone. Well, very good. What would we do with the aghast responses we would get? Love it, because you will see they will say, "Of course you can't be that. What's the matter with you?" And you sit there and smile back, giving nothing but love, because, you see, a master returns all responses in love. A master takes attacks and returns love. A master takes condemnation and returns love. A master takes disbelief and returns love. And sooner or later they will stop and go, "Oh my God, you're serious." And then you can smile and say, "Oh yes, I am quite serious." And let them know that they are the same. Exactly. Tell them that you are not going to stop loving them with the light of Christ until they remember that they too are that light. Let them know that you will be with them throughout the next 100,000 incarnations if they so choose to do it that way. And you will be the one who is with them always, even as the Master Jeshua said, "I am with you always." Take the love that I give to you and give it to your brother and sister, for he that drinks from my mouth becomes as I am, and I shall become he or she. That is what I mean when I say, take my strength and use it until yours is as certain as mine. Need that take a long time? Time is an illusion. You can choose it now. When you walk out of this building tonight, you can say, "Oh, Jeshua is my brother. We came from the same lineage. We have the same divine parent. What is in him is in me also. Therefore, I am going to love all others as he has loved me." If you believe and feel that through my presence in your life, not just this life, that the grace of our Father has thrown open the shutters of your heart, then simply be as I am. Become the perfect servant of the grace of God. Lay down the dream of the dreamer and awaken as the Savior of the world. Then my life has not been lived in vain. My death, my burial, and my resurrection will have truly been filled with meaning. Because until you pick up your cross, which is made of light, and follow me, all that I have given unto you remains in vain. If therefore you would love me, if therefore you would extend your appreciation and thanks unto me, speak not in words to me, but go and do likewise to your brother and sister. For only in honoring the Son within your heart can you in truth honor me. And when you have extended that love unto your brother and sister, indeed, you will feel me rejoice, and you will know that in truth I am with you always. And we shall walk hand in hand as equals in the kingdom of our blessed Father, doing nothing but serving the atonement, because there is nothing else to do. Join with me by being what I am. Of myself I do nothing, but my Father through me does all things, and my Father is only love. Therefore, be that which you are, and you are the love that my Father has given to the world through me. Be therefore that which I am, and you are the light of the world. Great is my love for you. Great is my love for you, because I know who you are, even when you choose not to believe it. I cannot find words in your language to express the love that I feel. Though many of you forget about me during the course of your day, I forget you not. And I look upon you in this illusion, and I see naught but myself. For have I not tried to teach you that the only thing you need to learn is that there is nothing outside of you? All of creation is contained within your heart, because you are the only begotten Son of the Father, begotten before all worlds, and one substance eternally with all that our Father is. Oh, how can I not love you? How can I not love the light of the world? How can I not love the only creation of my Father, that which is eternal and changeless? Pure is your heart, pure is your heart. You have never sinned. You are love in form. Give it to the world even as I have given that love to you. Give it with every breath you breathe, and gone will be your depression, and gone will be your doubt. Gone will be your lack. There are no limitations in you. You can do it all because of yourself you do nothing, but your Father through you can do all things. The body that you have thought yourself to be is only a vehicle of communication. Stop identifying with it and identify with the truth of your being. You are spirit and you are divine. You have never known birth and you will never taste death. This illusion is a game. Play it with the infinite joy of Christ wherever you are. You are only there to be a demonstration of what transcends the world. Short is the time that I am given to be with you in this way, and yet eternal is the time that I am with you. And though this world arises and passes away in the twinkling of an eye, we are together throughout eternity. Join with me, play with me. You are already a master, claim it. And when you are in a grocery store buying the food that you would put in your body, take pause and remember, this mass of flesh that seems to be handling golden coins to the one who seems to be separate from me, and who seems to have a frown upon their face and depression in their countenance because they do something they hate. This little body is nothing more than a vehicle to extend the peace and love of God. Send that beam of light through the heart of your very body and join with the heart of the one across the little stand. Look them in the eye and say, "Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the service you give me. I love you for your willingness to do the work you do." When you've picked up their chin, you will feel their countenance shift, and though you may never see them again, they will remember you always. And you have no idea of the seed that you have planted, because they, in their turn, will begin to be quickened by your love. And it may be the next day, it may be the next week, they too will remember that they can extend the love of Christ unto another. You will have started a string of miracles, and there's absolutely nothing worth doing than being the initiator of the string of miracles that awakens a child of God. Would you do that for me? Would you choose to play in each day as the one who can bring a miracle and give it to another? I need you as much as some of you have believed you need me. I can work from planes unseen, but I can only join with so many bodies to do this kind of work. But wherever you are, you can join with me and say, "Jeshua, I'm going to extend the love of Christ. Are you ready? Here it goes." And trust this. When you call upon me in order to extend that miracle, rest assured I am with you. Some of you have already begun to see me, even though your eyes are open, in the midst of other experiences, because you are beginning to get the message. I am not limited by space and time, nor are you. Join with me and play in the spirit of light of being the saviors of the world. Would you please do that for me? Would you please promise to join with me? Would you please, in the moment, let your decree be heard by your brothers and sisters by just saying, "Yes, I will join with you in the salvation of the world"? Nothing like having some help. And now that means tomorrow when you arise and lift your head from the pillow, leave your past behind you because it doesn't exist. Let your head rise and your body rise and say, "Oh boy, what a great day this is going to be, because I am going to give the love of Christ to this world. I am going to be vigilant in every moment. Who can I give it to? What do you think, Jeshua? Is that a good candidate?" And I'll say, "Oh yes, indeed, go and do so." Begin to play with it. Let the seriousness go. It has no place in the kingdom. Play with me, dance with me, sing with me, rejoice with me. Begin to have fun pushing buttons and blowing cobwebs away. So people think you're a little bit crazy, so what? If the world is crazy, and I assure you that it is, what will be perceived as your craziness is actually a demonstration of sanity. There. Contemplate this well tonight. Into thy hands I commend my spirit. Treat it well and give it away with love. Into thy hands, my brothers and sisters, I commend my spirit, and it is finished. Whenever you choose to be the light of the world, and indeed I am with you always. Go in peace. Remember this day to keep it holy. Remember this day to keep it holy. Remember this day in every moment, and you are the light of the world. You are my brothers and my sisters, and you are my friends. I will never abandon you, and I will never forsake you. And even if you are not quite of my lineage, sit down and have a cup of tea with me now and then. Let it come to pass that in this house and this day you shall go out no more from our Father's place, and indeed entrust your heart to the truth of your only reality. Ask now and receive the fullness of that perfect wedding between our Heavenly Father and our earthly Mother, that you might extend it as far as from the east unto the west. Be the light of the world. Go in peace, and always take me with you, because I have no other desire than to be where the awakened Son of God is. Peace be unto you. Amen. So ends Become the Master of Time.